Hello, Reds. Welcome back to the channel. Dan from United from Abroad. Up next, a trip to the old smoke, London, to face Tottenham Hotspur. United come off the back of a 2-2 draw with Forest. There was a lot of uproar about, United being only tying the game. I get everything. We're 1-0 up, playing pretty well. That 5 minutes after halftime was abysmal. But you've got to give United some benefit here. Having that character to come back and get back in the game and almost win it at the end. Last season, we would have lost that game. We would have been nowhere near getting it back into it. So I can see the positives in it. Obviously, there's some negatives. Delo being a massive negative. And I just don't see what Amorim sees in him. Maybe because he's his long-distance relative, apparently. So reports are being said this week. And with him being linked to a clown, if I read that right, in Portugal, in Braga. But yeah, anyway, low shit at football. He can't play. He's fucking terrible. And if we play him tomorrow and Kudos plays, we're in for a fucking bad day. Anyway, let's get into what I'd like to see. So the last 5 league games, United are 10 points from a possible 15. On a 4-game unbeaten streak. Spurs come off a 1-0 loss to Chelsea last time out. And by all accounts, they had 0.17 XG, which is 3 shots, 1 on target, which is not good at all. Then they beat Everton, lost to Villa, beat Leeds, and then drew Wolves. So a bit of a mixed bag for them. So yeah, what I'd like to see, Son Lemon starts in goal every single day of the week and twice on Sundays. He's better than that cardboard cut by Ndiaye. So yeah, I'd like to see a back 3 of Shaw, Maguire, Delict. I think, conceding that goal at the back post with Ahmad, Lenny Euro got caught ball watching a little bit and came inside, and Delict was ball watching a little, and that's still United's kryptonite. And yeah, you don't want Ahmad at the back post there having to defend, although it was only against Gibbs White, but, Gibbs White got the better of him, got the header away and scored a goal. So that's a part of his game that he's got to get better at for sure. I think he starts with Dorgu and Ahmad. Both goals, and you can call me a critic of Delo because I am. He never, ever, ever, ever gets tight enough to his winger. That first ball that went out, I don't know who was on it, but he was a good 8 yards away from him. The ball was bouncing. You get taught as a child, go and get on him, get touch tight, especially when the ball's bouncing. And he doesn't. He never, ever gets tight enough and lets the ball come in the box. More or less, I'm going to hazard a guess here, 90% of the times that the crosses come from Delo's side, they come in the box. Cunha doesn't do well. I think he tries to get back in and double up with Delo with Delo, and he lets the ball come in the box, and that's when Ahmad concedes at the back post. But then the second goal, he's just ball watching. He's just absolutely ball watching. We get the ball out to that left-hand side and try and build a bit of an attack, and he has to chop back onto his right foot, and he still doesn't cross the ball. I hope I don't see him in the United shirt again. We're going to this year, but I think maybe at summertime we bring in some fresh blood at fullbacks, at the wing-back position, and I just don't rate him at all. It's going to be Fernandes and Casemiro. It has to be. Casemiro is absolutely key right now to Man United. He's been probably one of the best players on the field for us every single week in, week out. And it's going to be... I think it was Andy Mitten on the podcast, Talk of the Devils, and I think he was saying, you won't see that midfield in... It might not be Andy Mitten. Don't quote me on that. But someone was saying you won't see that midfield 2 in Man United in a couple of years' time, which you probably won't. I think Casemiro might go at the end of this year. I think Bruno might go the year after, maybe even at the end of this year. Who knows? But I'll tell you one thing, Elliot Anderson impressed when he was on the field on Saturday last week. He jumped right above the pecking order for Baleba, I believe. And then I'd like to see the front 3 of Cunha, Sesko and Mbeumo. Cunha's a maverick and Mbumo's a match winner. Sesko he's getting a lot of criticism for the way he played against Forest. Right, he didn't score, didn't assist, but he does some good things. He does some really, really good things. And Gary Neville coming out, hounding him. Gary Neville, can we just get over the fact that, are you trying to be on the fence? Just be a bit more like Carragher. Support United like you do. Back the players. It's not hard to do. Troy Deeney came out and said, he looks like a giraffe, mate. If you had any of the technical ability that Sesko does, you'd have been a much better player than you were. I mean, it's just baffling that, the narrative was around Cunha until he got his first goal. Now it's Sesko because Mbumo's doing well. Cunha's got his goal. Now it's back to Sesko because he's not scored in a game or got an assist. There's always a narrative around anyone at Man United, and it's laughable. Laughable. He's scored more goals and got more assists than the two most expensive Premier League players that signed this year for Liverpool. Isak's a Premier League proven striker, no Premier League goals. Florian Wirtz comes from Germany. big money. No goals, no assists. But you see zero narrative around those players. Publications, Sky Sports News, Talk Sport, et al., whoever you want to say, sell papers, get clicks because of Man United. That's it. That's the be-all and end-all. If Man United weren't around, none of these guys in the job would have a job. It's so annoying that it's just the narrative side of it. The good thing about it, though, from my perspective, is now, we see this drivel and this fucking wobble of Sesko shit. But Man United fans are like, no, he's actually pretty good. Where in the past it would have been, yeah, get him out of our club, he's fucking terrible. But, there's been a bit of a swing and a turn to it. So yeah, fuck all the journalists, fuck them all. We're Man United, we ball piss again. And they need us to sell things and to get clicks and to have shows. But yeah, that could be its whole fucking beast. Let's move on to Tottenham. So they played Chelsea's in the last game. Like I mentioned, they got 0.17 XG at home. They played like this low block. I've not watched the whole game. I watched the highlights, but this is the lineup they started with. It was Pedro Porro at right back, Danso, Van der Ven, and Spence. I fully expect Romero to play tomorrow in line for Danso. They played Paulinho and Bentancur as two holders. And then they had Kudos, Papi Sarr, and Bergvall. Bergvall went off injured, concussion protocol really early in the game. Javi Simons came in. And then they Kolo Muani up front. Danger man's Kudos. He's a very, very, very talented player. There's a little bit of a doubt that he's playing tomorrow. I hope he doesn't, because he's their best attacking player. But if we have Dalot on that side and Kudos is playing, holy moly, it could be a bad afternoon for us. Key players for United, it's got to be Mbumo. He's a match winner. He's getting in and around really, really good areas. The partnership with him and Ahmad's becoming fantastic. Cunha, he could win a match on his own. I saw a video come out of him from the Premier League in and around Carrington. And you can just see he's just a great guy to be around. Probably really good in the dressing room, really good around the changing rooms and around the facility. But he's so good to watch on the field too. And I think Harry Maguire, got to give Harry his flowers. He's, from where he was a couple of years ago to where he is now. He's turned his career around at Man United. I wouldn't mind seeing him stay and finish out his career at United. He could be a good role player for us, and I think he's been a great defender over the years. He had a little sticky spell, but he's a warrior in a back three. It suits him so well playing that central position. And I think Spurs are going to try and put the ball in the box, and who better to have than him and De Ligt at the back in there getting rid of it. So I think those are going to be the match winners for us. So yeah, early kickoff tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. over here in America, 12:30 back home in the UK. I'm going to go for a 2-1 United win away from home. Lump a bit more misery on Spurs and have us unbeaten in 5. That'd be 13 points out of 15 would be pretty good. Again, it's going to be a touchy affair, I think. I don't think they're going to want to come and sit in that low block. Thomas Frank's gone in there and he's a little bit more pragmatic. It's different to Ange. Ball was mental. The big elephant in the room is, United lost 4 games to Spurs against Spurs last year. They've lost 5 out of the last 7, and I think the other 2 were drawn. So, it's gone are the days of, lads, it's Spurs. I hope we get back to that. Yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 Man United. Give me your scores, your predictions, and all of how you think the game's going to go in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with everyone. Yeah, come on, United. Peace.